Well, good evening, folks. Welcome to this Sidecut ski tuning workshop, mostly for beginner and intermediate. My name is Pierre Ruel. Welcome once again to all of you on the east side of North America. Once again, just thank you very much for muting your microphone and turning off your camera. The reason is we're streaming live on YouTube tonight, and it creates distortion. It creates distraction also when people are moving and with the video. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Pierre Ruel. Some of you might know me. I was a coach for more than 30 years in alpine skiing. Last 13 years at the head of education for Alpine Canada, for coaching education and in the country of Canada. And right now I work part-time between Sidecut, obviously, and with Cirque du Soleil. I'm a specialist of human performance. In a nutshell, a coach. At Sidecut, I do all the creative content. I run some of the Zoom session. I do website marketing, quite a bit of work, but from all here in my studio, in my office. So once again, thanks for joining us. Sidecut is very happy to offer free ski tuning workshops, either live or with Zoom, but we're really, really happy. We're a small company, one owner. We're based in Whistler. Chris Hillier is the owner and founder, also more than 30 years as a coach in alpine skiing. So between me and him, we've been doing that sport for a long time. Therefore, our mission statement is pretty clear, is to offer quality tuning tools, obviously, providing education, whatever it's through our videos, our tutorials, our steps, or workshops, live or via Zoom, in order that you guys or your athletes or your kids or your children maximize their potential on the mountain. So therefore, here we are. This is Sidecut. This is myself. So happy to have you tonight. If you don't remember at the end of the hour, 10, 15 minutes, there's another one in 3 hours. So you can always join me there at the 9 Mountain Standard Time. So let's start slowly but surely. What I would like to know first in the chat, if you could just write me down. I'm a novice, I'm an intermediate, I'm a beginner tuner, and it would be pretty cool to see also from which club you're from, just to see if we have people from the east side of North America, the Atlantics, Ontario, Manitoba, and down Vermont, Maine, and all of the above. So basically, that's the introduction for tonight. First, I'm going to cover the philosophy in a few seconds. I'm going to talk about my setup, the tools I'm going to use tonight. We'll cover step 1 to 4. In a nutshell, I'm going to use U12 skis. I'm going to gear it for youth, but it's also good for most of all, that are just avid skier. And at the end, not only I will give you a discount code, but also I'm going to give you ways to get the information, all the written information about tonight, my steps, the 4-step, also the 3-step out to maintenance. I will also send you a chart and how to use the code. So this is where we are so far right now. I'm still looking to see if you're beginner, Glacier Club, Barrie, Ontario, Brad, just started waxing, no tuning, new to tuning last year. Sheldon, bottom of my board, Sherwood Park from Seattle. Wow, that's great to see. Intermediate from ADL again. Good to see you. I'm sure Chris would like to say hello to you. Chris is having a sabbatical right now. He's coaching in Europe for a bit, and voila. So, okay, so what we'll do as the process, after each step, I'm probably going to open the chat for your question if needed. If not, I'm going to get through. I'm recording also tonight. If you want to see it later, again, at the end, leave me your email in the chat. I will send the link for the video. However, the video will be live for about 48 hours to the max. Okay, so let's talk about a bit the philosophy behind Sidecut. You got to understand that Chris and I have been looking at the sport from a coaching point of view, and from when you look at the parents, the athletes, the children, the effort that is put, the energy in driving to the mountain, to buying equipment, buying pass, gear, some coaching, some lift pass, maybe a all-wheel drive car. There's a lot of time invest. Some of you parents will also spend times volunteering at races. There's a lot of money invest. But all these factors as a coach, whatever it's the time on technique or tactics, time in the gym, time with visualization, watching video, one of the most important performance factor is this little edge, this equipment, because all the other things you do, if this thing is not sharp and consistent, what's going to happen is you're going to go to the hill, and the kids, the children, the athlete was going to have a terrible day because his mind will be keen, but the equipment will be the limiting factor of, developing his skills, reaching his potential, having fun, and coming back in their car, say, Mom and Dad, let's go back to the hill tomorrow. I had a blast. All right. So the philosophy is we start from there. But over the years, what I thought was really, really, really interesting when we go to camps or we go to train athletes at some clubs is one thing is very interesting is in the toolbox of the kids, a lot of time, there's a lot of investment in fancy wax, very fancy wax, and they're very expensive. These wax will probably save to those youth skier hundreds of seconds. And in the other part of the tuning kit, I see parents, I see coaches, I see athletes where the tool part is not very well equipped, either rusty, lots of dust, a lot of wax, maybe dull, maybe almost dangerous, or a little bit cheap on the side where precision is not really there. So it was interesting. And from that, we said, okay, we have an understanding. And this is after that, we said, okay, let's make sure we develop quality tools. We'll provide the education and we'll provide the backup so people can use these tools and really do a good job. So this is basically where the philosophy is: quality in training the snow sports enthusiast. All right, so that's a little bit in terms of our philosophy. I want to start doing this session tonight, but before I start, I have to tell you a little bit about my setup here and what I would recommend, because you're going to spend a lot of time in tuning, is to have a good setup. One of the key elements will be good lighting. Obviously tonight, you don't see, but there's about 5 or 6 projector lamps, all of them at 5,600 Kelvin. I'm saying that because in your house, I would recommend that you buy fluorescent light or Dell light that are at 5,600 Kelvin. It's really a beautiful white, and you'll understand later when I'm going to talk about having a matte finish or a shiny finish. So we'll look a lot of our work we're doing, and a good lighting is crucial. Quality tools and clean tool. Obviously, last night I cleaned my tool after I worked. I worked at Bromont on a Sunday, so I'm trying to keep my tools very clean and in the right order. You'll see tonight, step 1, this is going to be my step 2, in fact, step 3, and step 4, the waxing. So my tools are in the right order. They're well organized. I also have a good bench. Obviously, I have this portable bench from Sidecut, but you can organize yourself in your garage or in the basement with a good table. It's going to work. One suggestion, again, I'm a small man. I'm just trying to keep the height of my bench in a position where I'm going to be working in a few minutes. Well, it's really not with this tool, but it's really at the height that is very natural. So not bent, so my lower back get tired, or too high where I'm going to slip and maybe hurt myself. So try to be really set up ergonomically so it's really relaxed. Also, a 3-vice set, very solid, elastic, an apron for just protecting your clothes, because you'll play with metal dust, oil and also wax. So why not protecting yourself? And the last one, but certainly the most important, I think of all of this tonight is wearing gloves. So you will notice that I will use my gloves all the time. Sometimes I'll remove it because for demonstration purposes, but in a nutshell, this is how I start working. Make sure I have my gloves, because some of you, I see some names that are coaches. I'm pretty sure you've spent a few hours in an ER room in Collingwood with a parent, one of your athletes or your colleague or even yourself, because you cut yourself and need to see Dr. DeStefano. So we'll see. Voila. So gloves, always important. Okay. So our method, there's a millions of methods out there. The one we're promoting, the one you will see very consistent in all of documentation, is a 4-step. Step 1, preparation of the base. And tonight, these are brand new ski, believe it or not. They've been skied 3 or 4 times at the end of the year, brand new for the kids, but they haven't been tuned. So they're brand new skis. So step 1, preparation of the base. Step 2 will be preparation of the side wall in order to be very effective in the step 3, which was going to be the filing or sharpening of the side edges and polishing the side edges. And step 4, just waxing. Okay, so this is our 4-step. You will notice before I start that the equipment I have in front of me is relatively simple. It is our intro tuning kit for step 1, 2, 3, and our intro or basic waxing kit, I should say. So very simple, or two kits. I'll show you all the details at the end if you want to know more about that. But in a nutshell, this is what it is. So preparation of the base, what it is. Well, obviously, I'm a coach. We want to have our kids to have very consistent equipment, very well tuned with the right bevel. So it allows them to be free, to be relaxed, to be neutral, and having a good time. So you don't want to have skis that are very difficult to turn or unstable because it's not a good time in the mountains. So we're going to work on that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the base. So step 1, cleaning the base. You'll notice that in your kit, in your basic waxing kit, you will have what we call a fiber tag. And what I do is I can take a file. In this case, I will use the true bar. But what I will do is I will start from the tip. From the tip to the tail, and just make sure it's super clean. Very simple. I'm just trying to clean the base, remove the dirt from the snow, sometimes the oil from the ends. We try not to touch the base, but in a nutshell, it's quite surprising. From new skis, you could see there's a lot of residue already. So step 1 is that. Another thing that I'd like to do is I will also clean it. And to do so, I'm using a solution of water and isopropylic alcohol. So it's quite simple. It's just about 25% of, make sure the reflection, isopropylic rubbing alcohol, 70%. So I put 25% of this and 75% of water. I will spray it on it. And just to clean it like this, okay? Very simple. So I'm going to be working from a super clean base. So when I'm going to run diamond guide, file guide, or anything, it's going to make sure it won't damage the base. So one of the things I really like to do is to keep it clear. The second thing, step 2 of step 1, we got to make sure that the skis are absolutely through. What it means, are they concave or are they convex? Sometimes skis come from the factory, they arrive from Europe, and they're already convex or concave. It happens. Sometimes they're pretty nice, and you can understand again. So we want to have super clean skis. So here's an example of a brand new pair of skis, and it's quite awkward. So if you look at the top picture, you will notice that you see the light in the middle of the ski. Therefore, the ski is concave. While at the bottom, you will notice the difference. The light is at the side and not underneath the center of the ski. So we would say it is convex. So put your hat as a coach. You're on the side of the hill. Little Johnny's coming down, is fighting his equipment. Eh? The skis are concave, very difficult to release, to relax, to be mobile. They hook like on the rail. And the more he goes, he's out of control. Self-esteem, confidence go back. Not a good day. Johnny backs in the car, didn't have a good time. It's not fun. Same if the skis are going like this, you know, they're convex. And the more and more you lose stability, he's all over the place, out of control. You can imagine, again, the self-doubt, the lack of confidence, losing self-esteem, not having fun, therefore not developing, not pushing his limit. And the coach are like, what's going on with Johnny? You know, so equipment must be true. So therefore, what we do, we want to know if they're true, whatever they knew, or as often as we can during the winter. And we use what we call a true bar. The true bar is really something very simple. It's a bar that I will go and put at the tip of the ski towards the tail every 10 centimeter. And I'm trying to look at to see if there's light underneath. So I would go this way here, for example, but you can see, I can see a little bit of light there. Not that much, a little bit concave, but very minimal. Therefore, I would be fine. Actually, they're pretty good. They're really, really flat. Maybe a little bit here, but no concern. It's really when, like you saw in the picture, it's becoming to be something that you have to make a decision. Now, what do you do? Very simple. We suggest that you go back to your favorite shop where you trust the technician, and you will put the skis back on the stone for a grind and just try to make it as flat as possible. Some people have great machine for that. I'm sure your coaches, your head club know the reference to make it happen, but it can happen even with brand new skis. Obviously, if you do a lot of ski during the winter in really, really, really hard snow, you know, you're in Magog, I saw you're skiing Mont Offord. It is hard snow in January and you're doing a lot of run, obviously lots of friction on the base. Therefore, the ski will for sure getting concave or convex. Please be alert. Use this little bar, not part of the kit tonight, but I think it's the second tool that I really recommend you have in the long term for your tuning your equipment. So that's step 2 of step 1. The next section is we will have to define the base bevel of the ski. So I'm going to bring your attention to a little picture here. Hold on a second. I got to change it. And it's a little chart that I want to bring your attention to the bottom left. If you look at the bottom left, you see the base edge bevel. We can create a little angle on the edge between 0.3 to 0.1 degrees. So in a nutshell, what we're trying to do is pretty simple. That's my iron. And what we're trying to do is to create a little angle like this on the edge. So it will give some forgiveness, especially if we're on a really hard snow. It gets you relaxed and then you get grip. So it's not getting you really connecting, it gives you forgiveness, especially for our youth in development. So we're trying to create this little edge bevel. Now, most company, I'm saying most company will deliver kids skis or adult skis about 1 degree bevel, a lot of bevel, therefore forgiveness, and about 2 degrees on the side. Most company, not all. So therefore, in this particular case tonight, I know the kids is a pretty strong U12. Some people in my hometown has provided me those skis, and they would like to have them at 0.7. I agree with the parents and the coach. And what we'll use, and I will use a 0.7 degree base bevel. We have 1 degree, 1.5, a 0.5, but for the case tonight, I'm going to use the 0.7, and I'm going to use a 150 millimeter file, what we call a cut 16. What is it? Well, a cut 16, it's pretty simple. It's the number of feet per inches. And we got also cut 12, a little bit more aggressive. And that's pretty simple because you just insert in the guide like this, the file, and you will be ready to put the edge from tail to tip in this case, and then tip to tail when I do the other side. Obviously, ideally, I would like to work always from tip to tail with brushes, with fiber tex, with scraper, with wax. But in case of tuning, filing, and stone polishing, there's no other choice. Okay, so we're gonna file. I want to show you a couple of things again. What we're going to try to do is that part that gives the 0.7 degree will run right in the middle of the ski. So in a nutshell, this part is always in the middle of the ski, and that little part here, that side, will be the one that locks it on the side. Okay, couple of rules with files. Never push, always pull. Always pull, never push a file. Rule number 2, clean often as you can. Always clean, because the debris will roll over there and might cause a little bit of problem. Okay, so these are a couple of things. And another things I always do, if you look at this side, I'm always gonna go on the away side of me. I never really work towards me, but always on the other side. It's more secure, it's more simple. Now, again, coaches know, good coaches will always tell the athletes how to measure success, what we're trying to achieve, and what's the measure of success. So here's an interesting picture of factory skis, and that's sometimes how you get them. I want to bring your attention to the edge we're going to file. So if you look carefully, you will notice some striation, some 45-degree lines. You're also going to notice right underneath the marker some really shininess and some a little bit less. So there's a lot of information here to watch, to see. And the ideal, what we're going to try to do is quite simple. We're going to just try to bring this edge all the width to a mate, silver something really flat. I say it's fresh, flat. So that's the intention. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I know what I'm trying to do now. I'm going to start from I'm going to deposit. I like to hold it like this or like that. And what I'm going to try to do is looking at my work all the time, really listening to my work, because it comes to a moment that the sound also will diminish. And one more thing is the tension. When there's no more tension, that's a darn good sign that I have achieved the desired outcome, which is a flat all width of the edge all the way to there. Okay, here's a little trick. If you're a beginner, if you're new, or you want to teach your daughter or son, what you can do is use a marker. And sometimes I will use a marker and I will just put the marker on like this. And that will also help me knowing when I have removed enough edges. Obviously, less is more. If you want to keep your skis a long time, like this. I don't know if you can see it. I can see it really clear here. And I'm going to try to remove it. A little trick sometimes I do. I'm going to move the file a little bit. Therefore, I got clean file. Super clean, super nice. Now, obviously, I will not do it because I don't want you to stay with me until midnight. But that's what I'm doing, just purely setting the base edge bevel to 0.7 degree. Voila, that simple. File cards. Oh, okay, I didn't know that one. Nice to know. So cleaning my file all the time when I'm done. Last step, we got one more step. And the last step we're going to try to do is just to polish, to increase the density of the metal so it stays sharp a little bit long. But Sidecut, I'm just giving you a little bit of a training here. At Sidecut, we have 200 grit. This will still file a little bit less than a file, cut 16, but it will still give some sharpness. The 400 grit will give definitively a little bit of sharpening and also some polishing. The 600 will be polishing, and the 1000 definitively will be ultra polishing. So, but again, I want to keep it super simple tonight. You don't need to buy all these things. I would say we would recommend at Sidecut the 400 is the minimum on the base. You can also use a 600, but the 400 is a good one. What I recommend, you just put it in the disc like this, and what you're going to do is you're going to do again from the tail to the tip on that side, and now we're going to try to create that edge, that move it from flat to as shiny as we can. Okay, so the difference between actually, let's take this camera. The difference between the file, as you remember, we were just pulling. The difference with stone is, or diamond stone, is you can go back and forth like this. Okay, I can go back and forth like this. You will hear the sound again. You will feel the tension. You will feel that it's grippy or less grippy. Therefore, it's becoming way more shiny. And I can see it now when I really look like this. You can really see it starting to shine, especially with the lighting. I can also, and I would probably recommend, you can do this with lubrication, same my water mixture with alcohol, and that sometimes it helps the tool to glide a little bit more smoother on the base, therefore less damaging. Always finishing with long passes like this. You can see, you can hear the sound is a bit more here because I haven't tuned them yet. So this is it. Now, that's the last step. Obviously, I would turn the ski around and do the other edge and then the second ski. Please, this is super important because this is when you do this as less as possible. We overdo it. We absolutely overdo it because every time we put a stone or a file, what happened is we're increasing the bevel slowly to 0.7 to 0.8 to 0.9 to 0.10, and I want to show you a measure of success. This is not so good. So if you look here, you're probably going to see how dark it is. And what it is actually, when the stone, obviously I keep this stone for training purposes, when this stone becomes not black like this, it's because I'm actually polishing the base, which is a no, like I said, because it's going to go to 0.91, 1.2, and then coaches and the coaches on the side will go like, what's going on with Johnny? He was skiing super sharp last week and all of a sudden. So less is more. You will use the stones on the base if there's some rocks, but you don't need to go there as often as we think. All right, for step one, little thing that is really nice with Sidecut, these beautiful true metal stones. You don't need to throw it in the bin and replace it at the end of the cycle. They're durable. And what we offer stickers with the stone. So what you do, you remove with an X-Acto the damaged diamond stone, you throw it in the bin, you make sure it's clean, and you just remove the tape, and boom. In this case, it would be a 200, but you understand the point. Okay, so very nice, very easy. I'll show you in a few minutes also how to clean them, to make them, and to have them durable for a long period of time. Good question, Vincent. I will show you with the diamond disc a little bit later. I'm getting used to my monologue, so there's a certain order. All right, I repeat, we cleaned. We made sure it was true, make a decision. Are we ready to tune or are we going to the shop? Then we select the base bevel, we did it with the file, and we polished, made it as shiny as we can. Voila for step one. I want to go to step two because the step two is actually the one who's going to make your job, your work so easy in step three. This is, again, I said, number one. Number two, the true bar, because as a coach, skis are not true. And number three for me is definitively this tool. The most important in our tool bag is the sidewall remover. I really believe oh, sorry, I'm just trying to prepare here with the, okay, this tool, because what it does, it will allow in a few minutes to make sure that when I'm going to put the file guide in step 3, it will not, you see that step here, will not interfere with the file, therefore filling the file with sidewall step material. In some cases, there's some titanium little plate on a little bit more performance skier, like skis, like for a more advanced racer, that you'll see this one has just fiberglass, which is nice. So, okay, so I want to show you a quick little video that the reason why we do this. Okay, stay with me.
The sidewall of the ski. This is what we call the sidewall step and needs removal. Next to this is the steel edge that we want to sharpen. The reason we remove the sidewall step is because it interferes with the file's ability to contact the steel edge, thereby making it impossible to sharpen the side edge on the desired bevel.
So voila, so that's the intention, and the finish gonna look a little bit like this. So the goal is we're gonna use this tool. I'm gonna show you how to and give you some tricks how to use that tool in a few seconds. But it's not easy to adjust, and the desired outcome will be, if I point your attention at the bottom left, you can see now I have this is a round sharp cutter, and there's the square on the right. But for our purposes with kids, we're going to use the round sharp or round standard. I use the standard. It's just a good one to start with. So that's the desired outcome. The tool is not easy to adjust. We know this. I want to show you one little 38-second video, and then we're rolling. Okay.
Removing the sidewall, place the stainless steel glide plate on the base of the ski. Set the roller bearing on the edge, keeping the tool parallel to the edge. Insert the pin standing behind the tool. Steady the pin with half of your thumb on the aluminum block and half on the pin to prevent it from moving. Then on your first adjustment, ensure the cutter is just touching the black sidewall step. Next, adjust your rake anywhere between 10 and 40 degrees. You'll need to experiment. However, a slight twist most often works perfectly. Next, tighten the screw. Some key tips when using the sidewall remover are as follows. Get the locator pin adjusted accurately on the first pass so that it's removing the step. If it isn't, for instance, the cutter is hitting the edge, then simply stop and readjust.
All right, so like I said, all of our tools have tutorials. Obviously, you will have the chance to go and watch them back again in French or in English. They're not in German yet, but I'm assuming it's coming when we grow. Couple of things also. If you're not very manual, you're scared of damaging your skis. A lot of ski shop right now offer the service of doing the sidewall, removing the sidewall step. When you buy a brand new pair of skis, it's a solution. Another solution is first of all, you practice on an old pair of skis, your rock skis, your wife's skis, your husband's skis, and you try, because really what you don't want to do is to try to create some dent. And people create dent because they do it in really short, and they try to remove it in one passage. The goal is to do maybe 10, 20 passage. The goal is to really let the tool do the job. So therefore, here's some suggestion is, first, I always want to make sure, can I run the tool without stopping? Can I run the tool with a certain fluidity? Can I walk? Do I have enough room so I can walk through microphone wire is, but it works the same. So I'm trying to do, and then I will be able to start adding pressure. So in a nutshell, we want to add pressure with the stainless steel on the base, but we also want to make sure the cutter and the stabilization roll on the ski. So therefore, some people, and sometimes I like to hold it like this. So what I will do is I will start adding pressure on the way like this, and it's that simple. All right, so I'm going to start rolling. Oh, I'm almost had trouble, but an indicator of success is those big little chunk of sidewall. So this is when you know you're doing a good job, is when you start removing long pieces of sidewall like this. So really look at your work and you start looking like, okay, it's starting to look like this one here. And this is what we're trying to do. Really try to do something super smooth. So now I know I have done a pretty decent job. What I will do, just to finish, is I'm going to use a bit of sandpaper that I bought at Home Hardware, BMR, or whatever, Home Depot, 80, 220, and 400. We can go up to 600. There's many ways, but what I do suggest is we're just going to start polishing. And I usually use my thumb like this. What I will do is use my thumb, and what I'm going to try to do is to create a fantastic, and obviously I'm trying to be careful to not damaging the edge. I don't want to touch the edge. It's okay with the cosmetic. So sometime I will start right at the tip here with the cosmetic, and I'm going to start to blend, but really blend all of the cosmetic and the sidewall, and to make it as super smooth as possible. And I would go on and on. And here, between you and me, you decide how much time you want to spend on your equipment. But in reality, that step, if you do it very well, it's going to make your job of step 3 super easy, because the file will not interfere with the sidewall, will not slip on the cosmetic, will not slip on the titanium plate, and it's going to be awesome. So that's what it is, step 2. Remove the sidewall and blend as possible. And to be honest with you, you should calculate between 30 minutes to 45 minutes per side. So therefore, it requires about 3-hour work per pair once in a lifetime when you start your brand new ski. This is what I do recommend. That's a darn good question. Why do sidewall manufacturer put them out there? A darn good question. It's for stability, obviously. It's for durability when people hit rocks and stuff like that. In our case, we want, and usually you use machine with pressure will probably be good enough to file the edge. Therefore, obviously in ski racing, you want to have a little bit more bite, you want to create more angle, and you want to have the ability to do it at home, because when you tune your skis yourself manually, first of all, it's way cheaper. Second, it's way more personal. You can get a tuning to your standard, to your quality. Obviously, I've been tuning skis for 40 years, so I know what it takes. So, but it's a good question. I got to tell you, however, some of the kid skis, some companies are starting to not have them at all. And I can tell you also, some World Cup skiers, they're removing it 100%, not even that little curve, they're removing it. So there's different preferences, but obviously the intention of why we remove it and why it's there, it's for creating stability, increasing the durability of the ski. That's certainly what it is from a structure point of view. So voila for step 2. Let's go to step 3. Checking my time here, we're doing really good. Step 3 is where we're going to start now deciding how much edge sharpness we're going to create. So in theory, the ski comes at 0.1 and 2 degree. Now we're going to decide how much degree. So when I'm rolling the skis over, now you understand the ski is super smooth. I blend that. It's really nice, actually. It's really nice. So now it's going to glide very well. It's going to roll. So I have a true ski from step 1. Step 2, I'm starting to roll the ski on the sidewall, but because it's super nice, super polished, super clean with the top sheet, it rolls really nice. So Johnny is having a beautiful moment. Now I want to give him the ability to create those angles. You see those kids on the picture. So I'm going to bring your attention to, that's a good question about cap skis. It's the same. I'll come back in a second. I want to bring your attention about edge at the bottom right side edge bevel. 0 degree to 0.5 to 5 degree. Obviously at 5 degree is way more sharpness in the edge. And the grid here, all that chart will give you some guidelines. I repeat, guidelines in based on, are you a slalom skier, a free rider, a snowboarder? What are the guidelines we do suggest? And that's, we've been gathering this information from many coaches around the, and many expert tuner from the World Cup, and it's in a nutshell, a guideline. So therefore, for kids, we do recommend 2 degree. 2 degree bevel on the side. So actually the edge will have 88 degree and the tool is 92 degrees. So therefore, this is why at Sidecut, you'll see the 92 degree or purple one, the 93 degree or black, the gold or 94, the blue or 95. You can always decide the angle you want. I've skied up to 4. It's quite aggressive, and but it works the same. Now, good question about sidewall skis or cap skis. I do have these skis here that I've done the same. They work the same. You'll notice that there's basically only a bit of fiberglass that you're going to remove. Every companies are different. I know other companies are, like I said, it's a cap skis, but they manage to have the edge quite out. So there's not a lot to remove. But right now for cap ski is the same. You have to be not cautious, but it does the same thing. You know, it removes, so you have clarity. So when the file sit on the edge, you'll be sharpening the edge, but not the sidewall or the side step, in this case of a cap ski. Okay, so just try not to wreck anything. Sorry about that. Okay, so I want to file. I need to choose my angle. In this case, for Charlie, her name, Charlie, we're going to go 2 degree bevel. So how does that work? So what we do recommend first is you can use, for example, not your file, but you can use that 400 diamond stone. I will mount it on our guide. Our guide are pretty cool because our guides are also, they also work. So you can mount that trigger clamp on this hole here, and that's going to make you, if you're a lefty, you will be able to use it. Okay. So first thing I would do first is the 400, and I would just dry, no water, no oil. I would just run the 2 degree, and I know the ski, those atomics are coming at 2 degree. I can feel it that I'm not changing the angle on the edge. They came at 2 degree. Voila. So I'm going to run it. If I would have a rock, I would maybe hit a rock. I would spend a little bit more time here, but in a nutshell, before I put the file, I would just run back and forth, a little bit of movement, so the metal gets a little bit more relaxed, get a little bit more warm. It's going to be easier to file. So that's what I do. Now, filing is actually pretty simple. You need to choose your file. In a nutshell, we have different type of file: cut 10, cut 14, cut 16. It's the number of teeth per inches. Obviously, a cut 10 more aggressive than a cut 16. So if you don't tune your skis often, I do recommend top cut 10. If you do it once in a while, the 14. And if you do it every day with file, because you ski in somewhere where it's concrete, snow every time, and you're really aggressive, you do a lot of volume, I do cut 16, you'll keep your equipment for a longer period of time. So like I say, I'm using cut 14 because I like them. What I do is always have that little arrow towards me. Sometimes I can give a little bit of an angle like this, no more than 10 degree. Tied up the thumb screw like this, and this thing is solid, very solid, you know, compared to those grip that you like, your booster grip like this, especially if you want to teach your daughter, your son, safe equipment is usually a really good way to go. So all right, so same thing. Now I'm going to start from tip to tail. Again, same thing as usual. What I'm trying to do here is going to be quite simple. Create that flat width of the edge. Make all the width of the ski super flat, same thing. I do not push. I always pull, and it creates debris. So what I'm going to have to do is often clean. And another, while you're at Home Depot, it's not bad to use a little pencil like this, a little brush to clean, because you don't want to have debris that's going to run between the skis. Same here again. So I can feel it when the grip is getting less and less and less. Well, I can move. When the sound is getting less and less, I can move like this. When the color is getting flat all width, I know it's doing well. But ultimately, I'll remove my gloves here. You want to start feeling that it's becoming sharp and very consistently sharp. See, I'm up to here, a little bit less here. Obviously, I haven't done the ski. So really, I'm starting to develop my sensibility, and it's with experience, you will notice, oh, it's becoming pretty sharp. So really nice. I know I've done a good job. Again, I could use the marker if I want to make sure I'm teaching my children, or I'm teaching someone. I will mark all the way, so I know they're not removing all the width of the edge, therefore shortening the durability of the skis, the duration or the length of the skis. So the skis might be good for 100 days on snow versus 200, because I'm removing all the edges. So when I'm sharpening like this, when I'm happy, the last step will be to polish. And to polish, again, we have stones. Like I said, I could remount back here on my file guide that diamond stone, that 400. That's an option. I can do it like this, and again, back and forth. Now starting to polish that edge, back and forth, finishing with long pass, dry. I suggest dry, or with water and alcohol. And then the last step for kids like this is you can use those diamond guide. Chris has invented those diamond guide. You can mount them with different type of disc, 120, 200, 400, 600, 1000. The blue one, they're all color coded. This one is the black, the 600, same as this one. But for tonight, like I said, I'm trying to keep it simple. It's a good way to start, basic intro kit, and then add a few tools all the time. I'll come back, Sheldon, about those electric sharpener. If you're for electric sharpening, if you're intro, you probably don't need that. If you're having a family, you have 6-7 pairs of skis, you probably will need that. It's an asset. Again, if you're manual, if you're not manual, quite difficult also to operate. Personal preference, budget, if budget is not an issue, but if you do 100 pair, that's for sure, I would probably have electric sharpener. However, by experience, being in those garage with those servicemen on the World Cup, they use the electric one once or twice on a pair of skis. The rest of the time, they've done it by hand, because by hand is just a better feel, better customization for the athletes. And if those sharpener would be the best, or those big machine, you could probably see them on tour, but that's not the case. So anyway, I want to move on with those diamond guide. They're fantastic because you can turn the wheel when it gets dirty or used a little bit. And what you want to do is polish again with a 600, but there's a little change I'm going to bring here in the equation, is this little oil. This is a cutting oil. If you work in machine shops like this, you'll know everybody with those big machine working metal, they use cutting oil. This oil is a beautiful oil. And I will put it about 10 centimeters. I use my finger, and I'm very cautious to not touch the base because I certainly don't want to contaminate the base with that oil. So oil, never on the base. Water and alcohol, yes. So you put a bit of oil, and now I'm going to start polishing again. Same intention, really starting to feel less and less friction. Definitively, you could probably see, I don't know if you see it from the video, but it started to have a little black paste on the top of it and start to smell. The heat from the friction, the oil and the metal and the diamond creates a little bit of a smell. I can start to see also the shininess. I would finish with long passes like this, but I can feel the sound. It's gliding very well. And if I remove the paste, you can see there's a little bit of paste that is created from the oil. It's starting to, I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to really shine. I can really see the shininess and it's beautiful. And now I can use this to monitor the success. And these keys are getting really sharp. So that's step 3 of step 3. We have one more step, one more little step. And you will notice when the more you polish, it creates a micro burr. And if I put my my finger like this, I can feel it's grabbing right at the end of the edge. Therefore, to remove that in your intro tuning kit, we have what we call a gummy stone. This, in this case, it's a green one. It's basically rubber with about, I don't know, maybe 10% of abrasive in there, and but they're really light, so it really does not damage that much the edge. So what I'm going to do is just put it 45 degrees. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but just run it super light like this, and I'm going to run it all the way down, and I can feel that I'm touching the micro burr. Another way is a little bit more flat with a little bit more pressure, and I'm just going to run it like this again, and just removing that burr. It works really well. Wow, very smooth. Now that's the measure. I want to make sure that it's super smooth, there's no burr, and these keys are pretty darn sharp. I would sharpen them tip to tail. Okay, so that's step 3. The diamond stone, the 400, just to remove if you hit rocks, burr, or anything like that. After that, file with the degree, do it the 400 dry, 600 with oil, and you should be ready. Now, you'll find after a few days, you might have to go back to the file, but if you do it constantly, if you do it every night, for example, after skiing, you go back with the 400 and the 600 stone, you'll notice that, A, your skis are getting super consistent, and you keep your sharpness very good during a longer period, and it's way more fun and way less time. So it works with you. So one more thing, we had a question a few minutes ago, is how do we clean these things? So as you notice, when I file with oil, it creates a little bit of dirt and residue. You don't want that in your stone, because after a while they'll get kind of clogged and will not work as effective. So here's the beauty of that little oil. I'm just going to put 1 or 2 drops like this. Okay, a drop. Let's go here. No more than 2. 2 is enough. And what I will do is just with my finger, just rub it like this, you know, and then I'm going quite fast here, but on the coarse towel, not this one, this coarse towel that's set up in front of me, just gonna scrub it on this, and all of a sudden, look at that, like brand new. Sorry, this one here is going to be even better, like brand spanking new. So that's the beauty. Same with the disc. When they get tired, I can remove the sticker and put a new sticker. You keep the disc. It's durable for the rest of your life. I always say that. Chris doesn't like it, but this is an old one. I mean, like, if you could see the old logo, it's probably 20 years old. This stone here, I'm just changing the sticker once in a while, so it's very durable, good for the environment. All right, so this is it for step 3. Now we're going to go to Tim about ceramic stone. It's a darn good question. I would recommend for youth skis. You probably don't need them. Ceramic stone, in a nutshell, to make it easy, some people like them, some don't. Some people don't like diamond stone. I really believe it's personal preference. I do believe it is. Some people I know with speed skis will go with ceramic a little bit more, but there's no science that really proved the one is really better. It comes to personal preference. So this is what I say, what I have to say about this. Okay. We sell those. I do some presentations sometimes that we talked about ceramic stone, what they do different. We have a few one, the good one actually, the tire lit one, but works pretty well. Now I want to talk about wax, and we'll be done in a few minutes. So, okay, so waxing. I'm gonna use these skis because they've been waxed about 100 times, and I don't ski them in between, so we're good with time. Okay, so for step 4, I'm just want to covering a couple of things. We're gonna clean the base again because we were running a bit of a residue on the base. I will use the same fiber text that I use at the beginning. It's a different pair of skis, obviously, but I would run the fiber text like this, remove the wax. I would also make sure that I clean the base again. You always want to have a super clean base, you know. It really helps the wax to get in the skis. But what I'm talking, there's many wax out there at Sidecut. We are selling, we're the importer of Nanox. It comes from Italy. In my personal opinion, it's one of the best wax because it's the fastest application, non-toxic, non-fluorocarbon. They've been using nanotechnology, non-toxic, for more than 20 years. Urs is the creator, the PhD in nanotechnology. One wax for all snow condition, all temperature, basically covering all the bell. And the difference is between companies. Some company has different layers of color, but in a nutshell, covers the same belt of temperature and snow condition. So it's fantastic. You know, it's simple. You don't have to call a friend. Ask a friend, is it blue? Is it red? Is it yellow? No, it's 2 blue. It's 1 red. Are you sure? I thought Bob told me. No, it's not the case. You put the training wax or extra hard if you're really on glacier or really cold, hard winter snow. Extra hard is pretty good if you want to protect your safe skis. But in a nutshell, very simple. I still suggest that you read the manufacturer's specification because it's required 140 to 160 degree for the application. There's a question here. How do you properly sharpen the tip? Yeah, I'm trying to really work again the tip and the tail with the tool. The intention is to look carefully at your job, that you don't touching the base and you're covering all the edge. And the question I get all the time: do you detune skis? Are you detuning the tip and the tail? I personally don't. I believe all the kids skis these days, our skis, come what we call with a rocker. So the skis a little bit like this. They're way more smooth at the tip, way more forgiveness. So in a nutshell, if you have choose the right ski for you, for your son, for your daughter, and you can tune it. We're rarely ski in North America. We rarely ski like the St. Moritz snow or the Chile snow, which is like very styrofoam, where it's you have to really remove it. You can always wear that in your pocket. If needed, you detune. But I personally don't recommend. If you have the right equipment, a true base, the right bevel tuning from tip to tail on the side and on the base, the ski is going to be mobile. You'll be able to be agile, develop that speed, that mobility, those angle, that stability. So that's what I'm saying about detuning or not. All right, so I'm going to go with the wax. In this case, I will not obviously wax all the skis because there's no need for you to watch me scrape and for an hour. What I do recommend with Nanox is 4 heat cycle. If you're in car racing, you understand that what's the heat cycle is when the temperature goes up and goes down. So I'll do 4 heat cycle, and you will notice that I will drop, there's a couple of questions, Rob. I will answer that at the end. What I will try to do is to drop a couple of drips on 1/3 and back on 1/3. And the reason why you'll get it in a second, but really, so I'm trying to wax the ski like this. Whoops. That's a little bit of a lot of wax. And the reason I'm trying to do both sides like this is when I put the iron on it, I'm making sure that I don't touch the base, therefore eating the epoxy or the base. I'm just trying to be careful. So each cycle number 1, melting the snow. Each cycle number 2, from tip to tail. Number 3, tail to tip. And I would finish with tip to tail. What's the measure of success? Again, how much do we leave the iron there? I'm trying to keep the iron where it's melting about 10 centimeter, which is probably 4 or 5 inches behind. So it's still liquid behind the iron. I don't want to have it too liquid all the way. Therefore, it means that I'm overheating the wax. Okay, so not too much. I would go again about 10 centimeters of liquid behind. So when I'm moving I can see it like this. I can see it's about 10 centimeters. And I would do the same on the way back. Obviously, because now it's becoming warmer, I have to go a little bit faster, but really making sure that it's well all over the skis, and I didn't overeat the wax. I didn't overeat the base. Therefore, the ingredients that are inside the wax, Nanox is kind of a black powder that is inside the wax. The wax is the commuter, serve as to bring the particle and to attach to the plastic of the base. That's the beauty. That's why nanotechnology works so well. That's why the ski keeps its property of wax in there or gliding and stay black for a longer period, protect the skis, because those molecules really attach well and stay there for long. So that's why we believe it's fantastic. But here's one of the key elements of how good that wax is, because it's fast application. It's not like other wax where you have to put the ski there for about 2 hours. With Nanox, when it's mild, so by the time I would take this ski, put this ski over there, I can basically start scraping. Yes, you'll see, Rob. I'll answer that in a few minutes. I'm going to show you. So with our scraper, we have 3 or 5 millimeters, but they come with a little notch like this or round like that to remove if the wax goes on the sidewall. I can already, obviously I would start from tip to tail, but really starting to remove. Always put a trash bin at the right spot. I go like this, and I have a trash bin right there ready. And what I do is I use it like this, super sharp. You try to keep your scraper as sharp as you can. You can really feel it if they're sharp or they're dull. But good scraper will make your job easy. Like I say, Nanox, when it's mild, you can scrape it. So I would start at the beginning and really removing all the wax. So with the 3 millimeter, you can bend it a little bit. It's personal preference. If you're starting, I personally recommend, again, there's a lot of personal choice, but I personally recommend, if you're new and you don't want to create a concave base, order the 5 millimeters. It's a good way to be sure that you will not damage the ski. Okay, for that, so that is simple. I put the wax, I've cleaned, I put the wax, I scrape when it's mild. And while it's mild cold, the beauty of Nanox is you can use nylon only. There's no horsehair, it's only nylon. And then what I would do, it's a little bit early, but I could start brushing tip to tail. Like I say, when we work on the base, always work from tip to tail. And you'll notice that there's still a little white particle, and that's the goal. I'm trying to remove everything. I'm removing the wax, leaving those black particles inside. Okay, I'm going quite fast here. Voila. The last one, you can see here, it's almost clean. But the last step, when it's cold, which takes about, you can touch it. I don't want to touch it, but you can touch underneath the ski when it's cold. You know, by the time I'm brushing this one, putting the skis, taking the other one, the ski's going to be cold, and it's polishing. And how that works is quite simple. You know, it's just with a back and forth as fast as you can. So it takes a little bit of a manpower, but it's really, you're going to just going like this. I'm going where the wax is, but so when it's cold, I would polish it like this. And the measure of success, again, it's so easy to see. It's difficult with but it becomes super glossy. You know, the first time I brush, you could see it's still flat black, a little bit shiny, but mostly flat. And then the more you start brushing or polishing, it becomes super shiny, extremely shiny, actually. And that is the measure of success. That's when you know that the wax is in good position. So here you go. That's step 4. I've brushed or cleaned the base. What I did, I put the wax in 4 heat cycles, let it sit until it's mild. I scrape, mild, cold. I brush when it was cold. I just polished, made it so black. I would recommend like you do your skis as often as possible. And then after that, it's going to stay black. You're going to protect the base. It won't dry. It won't become yellow. It's going to glide. It will avoid concave right close to the edges. So fantastic wax. It goes fast. It wins World Cup. It's really, really an easy application. So voila for all the steps. I've got a couple of things to show you in a second. We'll go through question also, but in a nutshell, if I repeat, step 1, we clean. We were making sure if it was really through with the true bar. We set the base with the base bevel and we polish it. So that was the 4th step of step 1. Step 2, we put the sidewall remover, making sure it was really nice, removing that step. Then I really blend it with sandpaper. Step 3, I put a stone dry just to relax. I set with the file guide the edge. I polish with the diamond disc and I deburr or remove the micro burr with the gummy stone. And step 4, really easy. Clean again, wax, scrape, brush, and polish. Voila, our 4 steps. Is there's a way to see the difference between replacement diamond sticker 400, 600, 800? The 400 is yellow. The 600 is white. We don't have 800. We have the 1000. It's bluish. You will notice. If you put them side by side, it's quite obvious. 400 is yellow like the stone. Okay. Do you have questions? If you have a question, please write them down. While I'm showing a couple of things, I want to show you that if you follow us on Facebook, you'll have a lot of information. We have a new series with Darren Ralph that goes on every Tuesday. You probably saw one today about the World Cup base bevel, how Darren used it, what's the application, and what it creates on snow for him. Fantastic. We also have our website. In our website, you'll see the tuning education page. Lots of information about how to tune skis, tutorial on each of our tools, the 4-step tuning tips, Darren Ralph series. There's a lot of information there. And also we have our YouTube channel where you're going to see even more. So this is where we at. Now, before we go further, I want to show you a couple of things. So tonight, basically, I work with that. That was the intro tuning kit. I should put myself in the other corner. The tuning kit at the top. These are the tool I use to do step 1, 2, and 3 at the top left. I also use the basic intro tuning kits, and the add-on was the vise. I didn't use I used the gloves, I used the file brush, but tonight I didn't use any brass or top sheet remover or roto. So it's just to show you that we can do skis very consistent and very nicely, you know. So some people said to use this. You could also use distilled water. Absolutely. I use normal water. It's me, because I make sure I remove it right away with the towel. If you leave it there, it could rust, that's for sure. And would be okay to collect nanocoax saving or use the next? I don't think so, because the intention, I'll show you something here. The black powder is supposedly stay in the ski. If you remove the wax, you will see there's no black powder. This is a sign when I will brush with the roto or sometime with the wax and it's still too warm. If it's too warm, what happened is it brings back that little powder. So wait until it's mild cold before brushing and polishing. You won't end up with roto or nylon brushes that are super black. Therefore, remove this. So I doubt it. You can do this. Okay. Thanks, pleasure. Now, one more thing. We have discounts. We have discounts tonight. So here it is. So if you want to take note that my email is pierre.ruel@sidecut.com. Here's my phone number tomorrow during the day if you have questions. The code is in capital letters. It's in capital letters. And what I want to show you also is you have to bring it down and here at the bottom. So workshop sign in. So this is our website. You want to watch Darren Ralph, or you go here at the workshop sign up and you're ready to go. Okay, so I'm just showing you again a little clip here. Good.
This video explains how to enter your workshop or pro sign-up codes. Firstly, go to sidecut.com, go to the bottom of the homepage and click on either workshop sign up or pro sign up. Then enter the code and click the verify button. After this, fill in your personal details. Lastly, sign in and you're ready to shop. Be sure you see your discount versus the retail price.
All right, so before I let you go, just so clearly, if you already have an account with us and use a code in the past, the code is still valid. Don't try to put this new code, it won't work. If you add an account without a code, it won't work either. You're probably going to have to send me an email and I will add it tonight or tomorrow morning. Like I said, the code is the following: PR994. And however, I need to bring your attention that this is not mergeable with our free shipping. The discount is so big that we cannot offer free shipping. So one more thing, the code is PR, capital P, capital R, like Pierre Ruel, 994. And please leave me your email in the chat. If you leave me the email in the chat, I will send you documentation that is relevant to tonight. I will send you the recording link. I will send you the guideline chart and how to enter the code, and voila. So if you have a question, please feel free. I'm still there for a few minutes because I've got another one in 45 minutes, believe it or not, 2 tonight. Quite demanding for me. We're crammed them up a little bit because I'm moving to, I'm going to work with Cirque du Soleil in Malta. So I'll be off until Christmas in the Mediterranean. So it's not a bad place to go, Malta. So, but I'll miss the early season of the ski. So thank you so much once again. I sure hope you enjoy. Talk to your friends and thanks for supporting us. We're a small company in North America. We want our kids, we want our skiers, enthusiasts to have fun, maximize their potential, learn to tune, be passionate, and have fun on the hill. It's really matter. All right. Thank you once again and wish you all the best.